Welcome everyone to the official wrap-up of the WikiTree Challenge number 6 for this year for Catherine Willison. So it's been a great week. You guys have done a super job. And so first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for participating. That's what you did wonderful. I unfortunately were pulled in a number of different directions with other things, some family stuff over the long weekend and church and whatnot. So I was not able to participate as I was hoping I could. But I've certainly got the updates from Captain Chris, who isn't able to make it, at least not at the beginning. I'm hoping he will show up at some point, but if he doesn't, that's okay.
Greg,
Yeah.
he is at a funeral right now.
Oh, he's at a funeral. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yes.
A
Oh,
friend of the family.
a friend of the
Right.
family. Oh, well, that's too bad. Well, we send him our condolences then in the family. So we won't have Chris live on here, but we're thinking of him and we thank him for his leadership during this week. It's been great. It's always great having different people do the team captain thing. I know it was fun for me when I did it. And I'm sure Chris enjoyed it as well. He certainly seemed to enjoy it in the way he wrote his emails, sending them out. Um, so that is great. That was good of Chris to act as captain there. If anyone here is interested in becoming a team captain for one of the upcoming challenges, then Azure or Awen, let one of them know, and they will sign you up and get you started with that. It is a fun experience, and it doesn't require a whole pile of extra work. You're basically the two main things would be to communication. There are certain points throughout the week where you have to communicate to everyone and you send an email out. And there's even a sort of a general template that you can use, so you don't have to come up with all those words on your own. But it's nice to add your own little flavor to it, as Chris obviously did this week. And also being around in the Discord and helping resolve problems and give encouragement and letting people things they can work on or suggestions like that. So anyways, think of that opportunity as it comes out. So let's have a look-see and see how many people participated this week. So looking at, nope, that's not this page I want to look at. Where did this go? Wow. I had it open and then it disappeared on it. There we go. So, Lewis, looks like you're the big winner, the MVP. Woohoo! This time with a whopping 660 points. That's amazing. That's
Well,
great.
first I needed bad weather.
So that kept you inside?
Rain. I had 2 days of smoke, which was horrible.
Oh no.
Wow.
All right. Because you're out in BC, is that right?
No, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg. Oh, Winnipeg. You told me. Why do I want to push you further west? I don't know why you said that. So all those wildfires. Wow.
Yeah, if the wind blows from the northwest, it brings
Mm.
all the smoke down here.
So did you get the Flin Flon smoke, or did
Yeah.
you? Oh man.
Yeah, and the Saskatchewan smoke.
Oh man.
And there's fires in North Dakota too, so some
Oh
comes
really?
down south. Yeah.
It's going both ways across the border. Wow.
Hoping for rain.
Looking for rain, yeah, for sure, for sure. So 500, let's see. So
That's going to adjust a little because just as I was closing up, I noticed I connected a person to his grandfather by mistake. So I'll correct that after we finish here. I'm not sure
okay.
how much it'll change it.
Okay. Does that mean 520 profiles you added this week?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. That is
Mercer is just great, if you
yes.
an ancestry. Here's the trick. I'll give you guys all the tricks.
Oh, show us the
You
tricks.
wanna
Yes, tell us
know.
the tricks.
The trick is that if you use Sorcerer to
Yeah.
search for the WikiTree profile on Ancestry,
Right.
you usually find a person who has fairly well researched that person. And
Hmm.
then that'll give you the parents. And rather than just, if they don't have a lot of sources for the
Hmm.
parents or for the siblings, then you go and do it again and you search Ancestry for the parent, and you'll
Mhm.
find someone else who, from another line, has
Uh,
researched that side. So they
ah.
sort of connect. And doing it that way and using Sorcerer, I could actually do maybe 20 an hour if I'm on a roll.
Wow.
20 or 30 an hour if I get a whole bunch of them where you might get 10 or 12 people in a row all in one ancestry
Mhm.
profile that's really well sourced.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh, that's nice. Now, when you use WikiTree Sourcer from Ancestry, does it grab all the sources as well?
Yes.
For some reason, it does that for me when I use Family Search, but it doesn't do it for me when I use Ancestry. And I'm not sure. I must have
Really?
yeah, I
Then
must have a
that's a problem.
setting.
I'm using Ancestry all the time and
Yeah, yeah.
grabbing
And
all
I'm
the
sure it
sources.
used to, but just in the last, I think in the last challenge for Diane Southard, I noticed that it wasn't working. But I didn't want to stop and waste time trying to figure it out because I wanted to keep on going. You know.
Have you forgotten to renew your Ancestry membership?
Oh no, they're still taking money from me regularly.
Okay.
So, okay, well,
Interestingly, I found some of the searches failed on Ancestry this time a lot, but they came up on Family Search. So I don't know if it's better
mm,
transcriptions or what, especially with some of the foreign names. But
oh
I
yeah.
had a lot more luck with Family Search, and I use Ancestry almost exclusively. But this time I use Family Search more than I usually do.
Hmm.
Just so I think it had to do with transcription errors on Ancestry.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'll get you. Hmm. So there we have. So Lewis, MVP, excellent. And then there are a number of people who got bounties. You got the most. And were some of those for interesting finds as well as
Yeah.
bounty? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I connected 5 of the 8 people,
Ah.
great grandparents, to the
Mhm.
tree, and that was really good because some of them got connected at degree 5, which added another 30 or 40 more people at degree 6 or 7 automatically. Bang to
Nice.
uh, to Catherine's CC7 count.
Hmm. Well, that's excellent.
So that was interesting. I looked at the bounties as well. And by
Hmm.
the time I looked at them, 7 of the 8 were done.
Oh, really? The Monday morning
Yeah,
ones, the
yeah, the one,
brick wall bounties.
that's right.
Hmm. That's funny. Well, at least you gave other people a chance, right? Uh, didn't want to steal that, but
I'm
congratulations.
encouraging them. Come on,
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
wanted to. We brought Catherine up.
Catherine?
Uh, well, she
Yeah.
was under 1,000. I know when we started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it looks so if the total profile is 2680, total points 1869. So that means that's the difference between that was what her starting total was. So it would have been 800 and something,
Yeah, but
811.
then there were another 300 or so people that were added because they got connected.
Mm,
We didn't create the profiles, but we connected them at degree 5, and then
right,
degree 6 and degree 7 people automatically got added to the totals.
right,
Mhm. I'm sure
right,
there were 300 because that 2680,
right.
which if now you go to the bottom,
Hmm.
the 1429,
Yes. Oh,
uh,
there we go.
it used to be less than 1,000 higher than the number at the bottom. I remember that specifically. Now
Okay.
it's like 230, 200 and something higher
Hmm.
than the 1,000, and those are all the extra people that were added
Oh, nice. Okay.
without us adding profiles.
Okay. Very cool.
And it's because Catherine is related to, I think, everybody in Wayne, uh, uh, Wisconsin. And
Really?
yeah, I would have to say 95% of the people that I added were born and died in Wayne, many of them in Detroit, but many of
Okay.
us in smaller towns in the county of Wayne. And she has 5 generations of people who the first ones moved to Wayne,
Yeah.
and 5 generations later, they're still in Wayne.
Oh, that's
People really
amazing.
like Detroit. Either that or they don't let them leave. I don't know.
They all work for Ford.
They all work for
Maybe they all work for Ford. Yeah. They
Wayne. You
have good
said,
pensions and that keeps them there. Yeah.
oh, is there a category for Wayne, Wisconsin?
Oh God. If there were, it would be the biggest web page you'd ever find. Yeah.
Oh,
You wouldn't be
well, because
able
I
to
was
go to
thinking if there was a
genealogy.
category for it, then we could look at our connections and see how many were actually relatives.
Mm.
Right. Anyway, that's very cool. Very cool. Well, congratulations to everyone who's worked on the bounty hunting and all the rest of the stuff. Um, here. So it looks like we had 34 active participants this time, with a total edit 4,756 edits, 1,429 new profiles added. Um, very impressive work. So looking at her current CC7 is 2679. So that's huge from originally. You're thinking it was around 300 and some, right?
It was around 700,
Or 700.
800.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, she got her 2,000 connections badge just
Mhm.
down there. You can see it.
Yep, there we go. She got her
Yeah.
1,000 and her 2,000 during
Yeah.
so very, very impressive.
I have to work on my
Um,
2,000.
yeah. So if we look at the distances, let's see. Okay, three. Ingrid got closer by 3. Aaron by 5.
I've
And
been up for 5. I'm 5 up.
Cindy up 1.
Ooh.
Ann up by 5. Down by 5, I guess I should say, because it's Lewis, you improved just by all that work and you only got one closer.
All that work. And I'm very surprised because I think I connected to the big tree out of those
Hmm.
500 people, maybe 30 times I connected independent connections to the big tree. So I would have thought people would have gone down more.
Yeah, Murray improved by 4, so that's nice. Barbara by 2. Amanda, who's here, improved by 2. Amanda, did you ever get a chance to work on any Australian profiles?
Yep, she did.
Oh,
Oh, no.
she says no.
Wow.
She's muted.
She seemed to be mainly in Michigan, is what she was saying.
Mm.
It's hard to
Um,
not be in Michigan.
It's hard not to be, yes. Well, I mean, her bio, Catherine's bio was calling herself a Michigander, so and going way back.
I think every one of her great grandparents were all Michigan
Yeah.
on all sides.
Okay. So I don't see any huge, like, remember with Diane's, we jumped like 24 uh change, Judy Stutz and I, a huge difference. But here just a few minor things. Well, but that's okay. The tree still benefits from that. Catherine's WikiTree profile benefits from it and all. Um, And there is still the suggestion list. And I do want to remind you that the suggestion list gets updated every weekend. And so another round of suggestions will come out on Monday or the beginning of the week, whenever it gets processed. So for the work you did on the second half of this challenge week, those suggestions will come out on Monday. So it'll be great if you have a chance to look through those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and tweak anything that needs to be tweaked. Our reveal to Catherine will be this time next week. So it's Thursday at noon of next week, Eastern Daylight Time, that is. So exact same time, just next week. And we'll be doing the reveal then. So if you get a chance in the intervening time to fix up anything that you might have left undone or a little unpolished, please do that. That would be greatly appreciated. After you've done the suggestion, you've fixed up any suggestions for profiles, you can remove yourself as the profile manager and leave that orphan. So then either Catherine can pick it up or another WikiTreeer may adopt it at some point in the future. But without a profile manager, then that makes it easier for other people to make other changes that are necessary in the future. Looking at my cheat sheet from Azure, I'm gonna make sure I get through everything. If you've added WikiTree challenge, excuse me, sorry. If you added categories to some of the profiles, like the WikiTree challenge maintenance categories, if you've added those, please remove those now, since the WikiTree challenge is now officially over as of 21 minutes ago. And you can keep on adding to Catherine's list into her CC7. It just won't count officially anymore on the score sheet. But I know in previous challenges past, people are, they're on a family unit and they're in a black hole or a rabbit hole or whatever, and they just don't quite want to finish, even though the bell has tolled at 12 noon on Thursday. So if you want to keep on doing a little bit more work, that's fine, or a lot more work, that's of course totally fine, up to you. But please do remove those WikiTree maintenance categories, because those are no longer applicable, and we want to get it all set up and cleared out and fresh and ready for the next one. Because there will be a WikiTree challenge in August, and the G2G post will come out for that on Monday, this coming Monday, which is, I believe, what would be this 10th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The 14th. I'm pretty sure that's the 14th. Monday morning will be the GGG post to sign up for the August WikiTree challenge. And I'm not going to tell you
who that's for. Can you say?
Well, I'm not supposed to tell you who it is.
Oh.
And since Azure didn't actually drop the name, you can't even torture it out of me because I don't know. Not that you would, but so I don't know who it is that we're going to be challenging and helping out on in August. But so 10 p.m. or midnight for you. The thon starts on, okay, you guys are talking about something else. I'll look at that in a sec. Let's see. So the reveal is next week. I mentioned that. So Lewis, I'm hoping you're available this time next week, so you can be part of the reveal since you've worked on so much of it. And
I should be able to.
You should be able to. Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah. I have a buddy who likes to go biking on Thursdays.
Oh.
And so the last couple of weeks I've canceled because of poor weather.
Oh.
And maybe it'll be too hot next.
Well, it would be great, considering all the work you did, all the insights you have on the various parts for our tree. It would be nice for you to be there if it's possible.
Insights.
What's that?
All those names, after a while, they just
yeah.
they just merge into one. All I know is Detroit, Wayne, Michigan, United
Wayne,
States.
Michigan. Yeah. Right.
Stuck in my paste buffer. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Speaking of which, so we've got some. Oh, I like how people have who was the putting right at the beginning of the interesting find how the distance someone is away. So that's neat. I like that. But it was to me. This isn't really an interesting find, but it was at least to me. An interesting attempted find. Oh, I love that. Oh, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, of course. Yeah. Uh, anyways. Okay, so 12 of them altogether. Excellent. Okay. Very cool. Well, as I get ready for the reveal next week, and I'll be making up their lineage cards. That'll be fun to do. And some notables.
Yeah, I did some interesting things with the
Mhm.
notables. They have the
Yeah.
list of them, and
Mhm.
I threw Catherine into each one of them to see where she connected. And on the uh, on Discord, someone mentioned that she was a Mayflower descendant.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to the list of Mayflowers and I found no, she wasn't quite a descendant, but
Oh,
she had an ancestor who was an older brother of a descendant.
ah,
She just
interesting.
missed. But
Right.
that older brother was in the Puritan Great Migration list, so he was still someone important.
Hmm.
And then they have some weird lists, which I was very surprised about. They had German featured connections, and these go back in Germany like 1,000 years ago.
Mm,
And somehow they've connected all, they think they've connected. I'm not sure. I don't necessarily trust connections back to
that far
the
back.
Middle Ages,
Yeah.
but um, but if those connections are true, then six of those people are direct ancestors of Catherine.
Interesting. Neat.
29 to 36 generations back. Wow.
That's there's a lot of room for error in all those steps.
There is. I've never done that sort of research, but I have heard that it's fraught with error, that there aren't good records back then.
Yeah.
Unless you follow a nobility line somewhere
Right,
and you're
right.
lucky
Those
to
are
catch
generally
that.
well
Yeah.
documented. Yeah. So what I would ask is, so the interesting finds, we've got lots of those. Um, if you happen to find some notables between now and then that aren't in the list, then go for it. The military profiles, though, that is something I know that I personally I sometimes forget to add as I'm going through. So if you have a chance to go back and add those, if you've got them, then please add them to the list so we can fill this out a little bit. Though it looks like there's a lot that have been already added. So, but if you've missed some, please do so. Looks like there's lots of cemeteries there. Good. And a couple name studies. Okay. Good stuff. Um, the other place was the locations. Where was that locations list? I think Azure all usually goes through with WikiTree Plus to pull out locations. But if you recall, locations that are specifically were on profiles that you worked on that are missing here, feel free to go ahead and add that. Anyways, looks like we got six of
Divide
them.
Michigan down into 40 different towns.
Yeah, that's right. Put a star beside Michigan.
19.1, 19.2, 19.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Uh, so I think are there any other questions? I think of,
I have something that I have something I'm gonna work on cleanup on,
okay.
and I'd like some advice about how to do this.
Okay. Shoot.
If you could look, can you
Mhm.
search for the profile of somebody?
Yep.
His name is Orville Wehrmeister, and he's Wehrmeister 21. It's
Okay.
WEHRMEISTER -21. As I've been working this week, I've been kind of hit or miss. So I've got to go do some entertaining of relatives that are here for the 4th of July, and then I come back. So most of my
Mhm.
work this week has been going to the needs work
Okay.
profiles added, and I came across this guy. and it
Mhm.
said that they didn't, I think this is him, didn't have his wife. And so I
Oh, you.
found his wife.
Mhm.
And if you click on Eleanor Sharbna, they were
Yeah.
only 4 degrees out. So I thought this is ripe for a lot of work.
Mhm.
And I came across her, and that led me to find her parents. So if you look at
Nice.
her mother, Ida Waterloo, she's
Mhm.
Waterloo 1.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, this is Waterloo
However,
10.
however, so I added her in and I found her father, and I don't know that this is spelled right because I took the first record I found, but
Mm.
I want to go back and clean it up. So he was from Germany, but his name was Wasselu,
Okay.
and it might have 2 L's in it. I have to go back and find some better documents. But what
Mm.
happened by doing this, I had him as Wasselu, but I found out that somewhere between I think it's 1900 and 1910, the whole family changed their name to Waterloo.
Mm.
So what I have here is a mixture of Waterloo 1, which
Mhm.
might have should have been a Wasselu,
Mm.
which is also known as Waterloo. And I just wonder what the appropriate protocol is for changing names to Americanize them from Germany. Plus, if I get their German name spelled right, it might be that we can go back in Germany and find some stuff.
Right. Well, the general rule of thumb would be to use the first name that appears in their first record. So, um, if you've got a birth record or a baptismal record, however it's spelled, so in this case would be his German spelling, that should be the
Okay,
last name at birth. Um, and then the Americanized version would go into current last name.
okay. Unless they're married, then it's going to be an other last name.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to go back. I'm going to have to change all these because I actually found birth records for all the children, and it was Wasselu. I thought it was just transcription errors at first
Yeah.
because she
So
was
that's
so
a
clearly
natural.
Waterloo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
may be that I don't have any Waterloo ones at all. I mean, it's going to be Waterloo will be their next generation, would be Waterloo 1 and 2.
Right.
It's not going to be, Ida is not going to be Waterloo 1. She'll be a Wasselo or whatever it is. But anyway, I'm
But
going to
she,
try to clean it up because I know
but
it got
she was
messy.
born though. She was born here in Michigan. So, but they stayed Wasselu for a little bit before they changed
Right.
in.
I think if you look, let me see if I have one of the kids, on quite a few of them, I have the 1900 or 1910 census
Uh,
listed with the names. Must not have done her. Let me see.
let's see.
Most of them, I usually put the census where they're found. Of course, this isn't so consistent. It was late
There's
last
the
night.
there's the 1900 census. So let's see.
Yeah, I
I'm
think the
still sharing my screen,
1900
right?
census, they were still Wasselu, and it was
Yeah.
in 1910.
And that's a double, and they spell that census spelled it with a double L, right?
Right. And the first one I found was with a single L. So again, I have to go
Mhm.
back and fix that one. So it's going to be a lot of changes, but I just want to change it correctly.
Yeah.
So I'll get him spelled right, and then I'll make all his children Wassalu's, but
Hmm.
their current last name, if they're male, will be Waterloo. If
Right.
their current last name is a married name, it would be the other. So I have a
Right.
big family to clean up here. And then maybe
Well,
I'll ask for some help on the German side because I'm not real proficient with the German stuff, but somebody might be that could go back a little more in Germany because that's a whole line of the family that starts
hmm.
at connection 3 or 4 that nobody had.
Wow.
So,
Well, if we grabbed Dieter maybe or one of the other members of the Germany project.
okay.
Um
It might be interesting to her. I don't know. But there are a
so
lot of interesting
we
names
just have
here.
his burial record. We don't have his original birth record. West Prussia. Do you have a town in West Prussia?
No. And I can go back. I don't think so. I think that was on his birth record.
Did he
But
become
again,
naturalized? Is there a naturalization record for him, I wonder?
no, I didn't go that far. I
Yeah,
was doing this like at
right.
11 o'clock last night before I fell
Oh,
asleep trying to get him in.
I understand. But that would be interesting to find out. Like you're right, if someone from the German project could actually connect that, wouldn't it be wonderful if there were already a tree there?
Yeah.
Anyways,
And
but
there
that
might
sounds
be.
good. Yeah,
Okay, so now I know how to do it correctly. I'll work on it, and
perfect.
Miss Waterloo won't be number one anymore. But
No,
Wasilla was also number one. But see, I only have one L in it. If I add the L or the
the second L.
SS, yeah, it might come up with something. I don't know.
That's why I'm wondering if we were able to get someone to find the original German record, then we'd know whether one or two L's was appropriate.
Right. And I think I'll have to look. Let me see.
Bustle.
Yeah. If I look at that record on Ancestry, see where it came from.
Hmm.
Burial, death. I don't even show it here.
Let's see. Well, if I go to, there's the
One.
Mary, the father. So here's suggested records.
How about marriage record?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came off one of the official records. Now, see, that's got it spelled
Yeah.
ILOW, which I don't think is
Yeah, look
right.
at that. Double S, single L.
Yeah.
There's just no accounting for consistency.
I never trust the spelling on census records.
No, well,
Right.
even
And
in this,
especially when it's from a script like this.
Yeah.
And especially because the Americanized version really, really messed it up. I mean, some of it had a handwritten over the name, so it was hard to figure it out. But I'll figure it out and try to correct it. And then find the interesting finds, right?
hmm
Anyway,
I'm trying to find it on this page. What was it here? Oh, there it is. Henry L. Wasselo, and Amelia B. Schultz.
Schultz. Yeah.
Girls,
Munich. No, it's not.
wait a second. There's Aurelia Canada. Really? Ellen Lamb. My goodness, that could be a relative. What the heck? That is wild. Sorry, I got distracted. That's that's just 15 minutes away drive.
A little higher up.
That is wild. That's a small town. How did that get in the same record that we were just looking at by default? Wow. Sorry. Um, France, Switzerland, Prussia. Yeah, that's not very exact, is it? Birthplace, Prussia. And find a grave, death records. Is that going to give us any more precise?
West Prussia, Germany.
West Prussia. Ooh, well, there we go. We only have to look at half of Prussia now. Much easier. Right. Oh. Huh. Okay. Well, best of luck with that, Fran. Um, oh, Amanda got a 1, a Weissmeyer 1. Oh, that's very cool. So now that is an interesting thing we should add to the interesting finds, the numbers of ones that we add, I think. So
I had another one too, that other funny name that was on that same family tree. It was something, I'll have to tell you what it is. Let me go back to it, but it was another one.
okay.
It
Well,
was
that's
Ida's record, I think.
Easy to add a one.
Schwarbaugh, Scharbaw.
Yeah.
She was a one, and I believe that one was legit.
that was legit.
Yeah, it's so easy to add a
Yeah.
one because all you have to do is misspell the name by one letter and you usually
I
get it.
know.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
I found a lot of other Schwarbars by the time I was done.
Wow.
I
Okay,
can't even say that.
good. Okay, Amanda does have a question here. Let me try and answer that. I added a number of men with war registrations and not much else. Is that enough to add them to the list of World War I and World War II? So war registrations. Those of you who are more familiar can correct me, but if it's I know people had to register if they were eligible for the draft, right? So if they're within the certain range of men who could be conscripted, you had to register. But just because they registered didn't necessarily mean that they were called up and that they actually did active duty. So I think you'd need to find, I mean, the Roy registrations are great records because it gives you lots of information. Most of them, anyways, that I've seen that give you lots and lots of information. Um, but unless there's some active duty or
Probate.
other type of war related records, then I don't think we can assume that they actually fought in the war. And I don't know what the percentage is of the total number that were registered versus the number that actually fought. Does anyone have any sense of what that percentage is? I don't know. I mean, if it was if it was 90% who people who registered actually fought in the war, then you'd be a little closer, safer, assuming that they belong in that list. But I don't think any company shipped 90% of their population over.
I think too, a lot of older people had to register just because they were at the end of the cutoff age, and you'd never send whatever. I don't know if the cutoff was 50 or 60, but you'd never send that 60-year-old off to war.
Unless you're
I
really
wouldn't think.
desperate.
Yeah, yeah.
Fold 3. Oh, Anne suggested that Fold 3 would help you if you want to look them up. And many libraries do have a membership to that. Yeah.
I have it, but I hardly ever use it. I find it a little complicated.
Hmm. Yeah. Most of my relatives stayed in Canada, so I don't have many, at least direct relatives that became American. So I haven't gone into Fold 3 very often. Oh, but Anne's given me a signal that she may have found some, which I'll find out next week as well. Um, uh, but yeah, okay. I think there was another question here. So I hope that helps you, Amanda. Oh, about the thon. Yes. So, uh, if there's no other questions about this WikiTree challenge, I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. The next big upcoming event, of course, after the reveal next Thursday, starting next Friday, will be the July Connectathon, and we still have a few days left to sign up. I believe you have 6 days from till next Wednesday is the cutoff, because as you're in the team, need a few days to make sure that everyone's placed on the right teams and all the wires are connected properly.
What's that?
Score sheet works. Score sheet.
In front, there you go. Oh, wow.
It's all right there.
Oh,
So if you haven't signed up already, please do just join a team. Go to the GGG post. It's pinned to the top of the GGG forum, so just check that out. And we will see you there. And it does start officially 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So for you, Amanda, that would be earlier in the let's see. It would be, what would it be? You're 10 hours different. So it's going to be yeah, you're 10 hours. So it'd be 8 at night, I guess.
Better than 2 in the morning.
Yeah. So I think if we start at 8, no,
And then it says 10 p.m. or midnight.
I'm thinking it would be, let's see. I'm thinking it'd be 10 p.m. I'm thinking it's 10 p.m. For you. But there are time converters on the internet, just if you're not quite sure. Just type in 8 a.m. EDT equals, and then whatever your Australian Sydney time zone is called. Is it Eastern Australian Daylight Time? Something like that, maybe. Uh, we could let's see if we could try it here. 8 a.m. EDT I'm just going to type Sydney. I have to spell Sydney right. Sydney time, 10 p.m. Thursday in Sydney, I was going to say Northwest Territories. Nope, New South Wales. Northwest Territories, of course, is a Canadian territory. Whenever I see NSW written like that, I always think it's Northwest Territories, and then I have to think, no, that's wrong. So there you go. You get to start on Thursday, while the rest of us have to wait till Friday. There you go.
And
Oh,
you're
it's AEST, Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Australian Daylight Time. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, I think unless there are any other questions here, let me just check the chat, see if I've missed anyone. Hopefully there's not been anyone knocking on the door that I haven't admitted. No. It's usually 10 p.m. or midnight. Depends on who has daylight saving. Oh, that's a good point. Now I understand why you're confused, because of the daylight time difference. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, have a great day. Thanks for the excellent work you've all done this past week for the challenge, and I'll see you all, I'm hoping, next week. And if you want to join Lewis and Chris and myself and Catherine on the live show, if you want to talk about some of the work that you've done, please let me know so that I can plan to send you the invite to StreamYard to join us. If you're not comfortable joining us live in the studio, so to speak, but you have something you want to make sure that I mention, then please just send me a message on Discord for that as well. So have a great day, everyone. I will see you on Saturday during the roundup, and next week as we finish this. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks, Rick.